Hi students, so this project is a fun chiaroscuro project where we are simplifying light and shadow into only two tones, light and shadow and nothing else. So you are going to pick what is being struck by the light and what is not being struck by the light. So this project is going to be a self-portrait, and I'm showing you this piece as one of my former students made this piece. This particular piece was done with Sharpie, so a black permanent marker, but you can use a number of different things for this, including ink or watercolor, which is what I use in my demo. But the point is that you are going to have to simplify the light and shadow, right, and choose what gets to be light and what gets to be shadow. So there are some details that are going to be lost and some decisions that you are going to have to make when doing this drawing. So you are going to have to start by getting either a photograph of yourself or drawing in the mirror. But the important thing is that you have a strong sense of light, so a light side and a shadow side to your face. So I would usually do this in front of the mirror, except it's just hard for me to set up with my easel and filming everything. So I did it from a photograph, but you can see that I have a photograph that I took with a strong side light. So here's a time lapse of me sketching this out. So I have some watercolor paper because I'm going to be using watercolor, but you can use regular paper if you're going to be using marker or something. So I'm sketching out the portrait, but I'm also trying to sketch out the turning on here. So you can see that I'm trying to decide on the forehead there, where there's a lot of light kind of glancing off sideways, where exactly am I going to put that turning line to show what is in the light and what is in shadow. So after sketching really lightly with the pencil, I'm more concentrating on what is going to be the light and what is going to be in shade, right? So there are some areas where you're just going to end up losing some detail. So the tip of the nose, for example, is in light, and the cheek behind the nose is also in light, right? So I am just taking my kneaded eraser and removing that line right there. So since this is watercolor paper, since I'm going to be using water media, I'm being very gentle with that kneaded eraser and doing kind of the silly putty where you press and lift more than scrubbing with that eraser. So here is a time lapse of me just filling everything in with some ink. This is actually a watercolor. Just everything that is going to be in shadow. So you can see I did a pretty detailed drawing under there to show myself what is going to be in light, what is going to be in shadow. Leave everything with hard edges. The goal of this assignment is for you to learn how to simplify and make decisions in what you're going to leave behind, right? So you can see here I'm struggling with how to depict the hair, right? Because one side is in shadow and what is not in shadow. But I felt like most of it was in shadow, right? So here you can see the finished piece after I went through with the eraser and got all of my pencil lines erased. And you can see, yes, the tip of the nose, the side of the eye, there's a lot of things, details that have been lost in this piece. But that's okay, because that's what art is about. It's about learning how to see something that's real in real life and translating it into a version of how you see the world, right? So don't be afraid to let things go. If there's two things that are light, that are, do not have a shadow between them, just let it go. It will be totally fine, right? So for your viewing pleasure, for the rest of this, are going to be some images of student work by some of my students in the past, so sit back and relax and enjoy these. So most of these are done with Sharpie or some sort of magic marker, and you can see a lot of these students just let well, not this one, but some of them let the details go. Here we have a charcoal one, right? A different color of marker. And yeah, so just the variety of how so many different people tackled this assignment. It can be a really fun assignment, and it's one of the favorite ones from a lot of my students. And I just thought I would throw this one in there for fun at the end. This is not my student, actually, this is Rembrandt. But I want you to look at how he is just letting a lot of the detail go in the shadow mass as well, for inspiration for us all.